Hello, everyone, and welcome to Get Better, a show about two longtime friends trying their best, growing up, and hopefully getting better. I'm Zach Johnson.
And I'm Neil Armstrong.
Do we have some breaking news? We have some breaking news on the podcast. I know that traditionally we are not a news podcast, but this one was just too big to pass up. And Sam even alluded to it a little bit in your intro. Oh, sorry, Neil, you alluded to it a little bit in your introduction. You brought me on as a
special guest because
Yeah. So I'm in the studio with Neil Armstrong, and I'm just going to go ahead and get the audience up to speed.
Okay.
Independent.co is reporting that NASA is to make major announcement of exciting news about the moon. And while NASA is not going to reveal this news until next week, when this podcast episode is airing, we were able to actually find out what the news is. And we actually have Neil in the studio to enlighten us a bit on that.
Yes. Now, I can't. Neil Armstrong, cannot give all of the details exactly, but I can kind of give you I can give you an idea about what's going on with the moon.
Because ever since this dropped, I've seen a lot of influencers, kind of asserting that they already knew a little bit about this. And there's been some online sleuths kind of, connecting the dots. And there's a lot of evidence of, what it might be.
Well, okay, so you know how there is always a news story about how there is water on Mars.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can't give too much away, but recently someone has discovered, I guess what you could call a water park on the moon. So there is a kind of Cedar Point style. So you know how the dark side of the moon, no one's ever been over there because it was like, what the fuck? What am I going to do? Bring a flashlight? Come on. There's probably ghoulies and ghosties. I'm not dealing with that shit. So they got a big enough flashlight and they brought their friends because they wanted to impress a girl. And so they were like, okay, well, let's go together. The girls will get spooked and then we can try to kiss them. And so they went to the dark side of the moon. And what they saw was, in fact, a giant half a planet sized water park. and the assertions were correct. Ghoulies and ghosties. There were, in fact, lots of ghoulies and ghosties in the water park. It seems they probably constructed the water park. Or, look, and it's just me, first man on the moon, Neil Armstrong, but from the pictures that I've seen, a lot of people talk about ancient aliens and they say, oh, they built Stonehenge. And from what I've seen, an exact 1-to-1 replica of Cedar Point on the moon. I'm starting to think that these ghoulies and ghosties on the moon may have constructed Cedar Point.
Now, it is it is very appropriate that ghoulies and ghosties is the term you use, since you yourself are a ghostie, having passed away in 2012. So thank you so much for coming on the show. Just being a bit of a ghostie yourself.
And then I pull off my mask and I'm Buzz Aldrin in this joke. Whoops. Sure.
Now
Neil Armstrong's dead, huh?
Yeah, he's super dead.
Can I pump out of this bit and we guess what's on the moon?
Well, so this is actually what I've heard. And I can't.
Now I'm Sam Cherry again. Hey,
okay, so so as I said, I've been looking at some influencers and things, and a lot of people are kind of like, You see a lot of the blue check marks on Twitter, like reacting to this story with little eyeball emojis, and you're just kind of like, what, like kind of like a knowing sort of glance. And I was able to do some digging, and I can't necessarily confirm this, but I'm hearing rumors that after all this time,
Jeffrey Epstein's up there.
It's finally happening, guys. Moon 2 is dropping.
Oh, shit. The sequel to Moon.
After all this time, Moon 2 is finally on the scene. And I think that is such I've been thinking about this all day. Because, Moon is such a classic.
Right.
Moon, I cannot.
Love
I've been following Moon since like all of my life, and I know
Well-
that my dad is a big fan of Moon.
Sure.
And I even heard like Moon was even like doing like cooking, back in like in even way before then, like
and
Moon
they've been
had,
dropping
like,
all those asteroid mixtapes. Like we've been getting ready for Moon.
yeah,
too.
we've been and like so the thing
Sorry,
is
Moon the Wait. Yeah.
So it's like I've been hearing, so like the blue check, I've been hearing that we got some like Metro Boomin has been in the studio.
Sure.
There's been pictures of like Kanye and a bit in like a space shuttle with Elon Musk driving it, like kind of back and forth to the moon.
Sure.
Kind of like like paparazzi photos sort of thing of like them going to the moon. And I've heard that since this project has been in the works for so long, like so long,
Yeah.
there's even like some vault stuff that like artists
They've got a
before-
feature from Tupac, right?
Yeah, like no, I like even I don't want to like I've heard Duke Ellington might be on this one.
Oh.
I've heard there's some unreleased. I've heard at least there's some unreleased Duke.
An
some
unreleased Tupac Duke Ellington collabo.
Some unreleased Prince.
Some-
Yeah.
Some Eddie Murphy.
Some
He got
some,
up in he's
some
alive
of that.
still, but
And so, well, that's actually one thing I did want to kind of address a bit about Moon too. Is like, so Moon is a classic, and I think that honestly,
Love Moon.
like that is one of
Underrated,
the things.
honestly.
It's getting. I think it's going to go honestly against Moon 2 a bit because it's like, how do you follow up with that?
Sure.
And like, it seems like from what I'm hearing, it seems like too much. Like I've heard that like
there's too much hype.
no, not that there's too much hype, but also there's just like Moon has been working on this for so long that like Moon 2 has a lot of like I don't see how they're gonna blend it. I don't see like what producers
I don't know why
are
they
going.
have to. It's been so long since Moon, and like we're all so
Because
like
I've heard
okay.
and like there's rumors of like some Mozart as well as like some like Mongolian throat singing as well. Like there's like just so many influences.
Okay.
Because like like
They've
you
been
can
working
only
on
be
it
you
for
can
so
you can only
long.
be influenced by like the thing that came before you, but like kind of like what came before Moon, like Moon has been there the whole time, so has like been kind of gathering all of these influences. And and like there's some more things with it that I think are
Well, they've been dropping
'Cause
some
you-
art, some album art.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
well, like, and I'm not sure if this is real or not because you're never sure. But I think it is gonna have a big spooky face like Majora's Mask,
which
which is gonna be wild because
I have been seeing
Moon
that.
has a little bit of a face on it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
kinda,
And
if you, look.
it's kind of like a play on like the Man on the Moon, that like old
Yeah.
1920s like the kind of like cartoon, kind of like that.
Are you
And
thinking of the movie,
yeah, the movie, like that old
the
like
one where they
that's-
shoot the moon in the eye, they
with
shoot the
with
moon in the
missile.
face.
Yeah. Which
What's that
honestly,
called?
yeah, Moon was a really good sport about that too. Like Moon,
Yeah, he was, like, cool
Moon
about
has been
She was
in
cool about it.
stuff.
Moon's a woman, right?
Like is always like lending its likeness or just like straight up even being there.
Sure.
And I like so clearly it's like you can tell that like since like movies and stuff, like Moon's been ramping up to something.
Well, there was
like,
Blood Moon, there was
like in-
Eclipse. Those were such class. Like they've been throwing little tracks out here. And there for the past couple
and
years.
like you can tell, like, even like with like the Great Eclipse of 2018, like it's like all right,
Yeah.
like something,
that's a fire track.
like it's like something's dropping. Like there's like why else would you do like why this publicity stunt? Like why this big?
Right.
Like clearly something's going on. And yeah, so I mean, obviously we've been kind of expecting, kind of ready for it. It's still super exciting.
Of course, yeah.
And,
I mean, because
and
we don't know what Moon 2 is
so
going to
I
be
do
like.
want to address some of the other stuff that I think
Sure.
is, and like the audience obviously knows about this because the news did happen this week. There are some artists that Moon is just standing by and working with. You have
R.
like
Kelly, obviously.
you have R. Kelly, you have Chris Brown is going to be on it, and like
Sure.
some of the early stuff.
Moon's
I've heard,
old school though. The thing is,
Yeah.
Moon was from a different time, and things were just different then, and that's hard. And I don't agree with Moon's stance on that, but like,
yeah,
it's how it is.
I've heard that some of the earlier stuff was funded by Genghis Khan, and
that's
like
hard.
also kind of like Napoleon in some parts. So you know, you got to get funding, I guess, but it's still like
It's kind of gross. You
like
don't love
yeah,
that.
like, and
You
it's
don't
like I
love
know
how
some of these
that-
people have been dead for like thousands of years, but it's still like oof, you know, like
Not thousands and
it's like-
thousands, but yeah.
it's like this stuff that's come out about them. It's just like, oh gosh, you know, that's not
Right, it looks bad.
like, you know, that's like we kind of canceled them a while ago, and
also some other people that I feel like don't like, just as far as being on the track, like I understand they're important historically, but like from what I've heard, there's some leaks where it's just like it's just a brontosaurus just like screaming
yeah,
as like the backbeat, and like I think they did some pretty cool stuff to like trip it up,
which
and,
is
like, really,
which is
but,
wild
like,
because there wasn't any recording technology. Like that's
I
how
know,
long
right.
this
And
has been
I
going
know.
on.
And for that, like it's like Moon's a pioneer, and so like I appreciate Moon in that. And it is called Meteor Strike, and I feel like it's good to immortalize that.
Yeah, but that's
that
honestly a
time.
little tasteless.
But because Moon was like, "Yo, is this Moon too? Is it? Whoa, we got somebody else coming?" And then it was like, "No, I'm just gonna
No,
fuck
this-
up all the dinosaurs." And it's like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah.
well, that was kind of their beat. That was the Biggie and Tupac of
Yeah.
that time was Moon and Asteroid, and it was like,
yeah.
"Yo, I don't know," and then and then it was how it was. So
Yeah. And so, well,
it's kind of a beef track, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like it's a diss track where Moon's
Yeah.
like,
and
"Fuck you,
Asteroid,
where are you at now? Huh? You're just a crater in the Yucatan Peninsula. Fuck
Yeah,
you.
haven't been doing shit.
Haven't been doing
I wonder
shit
if there
but
is
being a
going to be
crater."
like, you know, kind of a retaliatory, like sort of like
Yeah.
old school sort of beef thing, like with that. But needless to say, I'm
Yeah.
excited. I think a lot of people have been asking like, why now? Like what?
Sure.
And it does. I don't know. Like,
Hell, and after Moon's last tour, he kind of had that dust up with Earth, where he was like, fuck Earth. Earth has been disrespecting me, and that's
Yeah.
hard to watch because they've been cool. I mean, they are literally circling each other, right? They are gravitationally tied, and so it's hard to see those friends fight.
yeah, I think there's gonna be like, you know, some like Michael Keaton type.
Yeah.
Maybe he's gonna be on the track, like kind of like love ballads to Earth, which I think
Yeah.
is really cool.
I hope they,
Like,
because the thing is, like, if we're being honest, like Moon's gonna be around a lot longer than Earth. Earth is not doing good right now. Like,
and
Earth,
maybe that might actually be something that might be one of the reasons why Moon is dropping this track now. Moon's dropping Moon 2 right now. You know, like
yeah, that makes sense.
because it is like. It's kind of like, all right, it's like, why now? But at the same,
Bear the hatchet.
yeah, at the same, yeah, it's kind of like, hey, like, you know, one last ride between me and you, Earth.
Yeah, give someone the roses while they can still smell them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it is Earth. I'm
Yeah.
excited. I think it's going to be the biggest drop of the millennia, and I'm really excited for Moon 2. It's going to be cool. It's going to be cool.
Yeah. I'm excited. I hope that, you know, it just doesn't, it seems like a kind of like, I just hope it's not like overblown production wise, but you know, you just got to get, I think there's some good
You gotta
producers.
take it on its own terms. Like you can't. It's not gonna be Moon, right? Because like Moon was Moon. So
and I
this
think
is
you have
Moon
to
2.
differentiate that, you know.
Yeah.
And
And I'm
again, like-
excited
and
for the
like-
big spooky face.
Yeah, and it might be a big sophomore slump, but hopefully not, you know, hopefully, but like, you know, whatever, like in
Sophomore
any
slump
case, like,
straight
you
into
know,
the Yucatan Peninsula,
Moon
yeah.
doesn't need to prove anything to anybody.
No.
Like, Moon has been such a classic this entire time. And
Like
so,
what Moon? Like here's the thing. Like Jay-Z has Tidal, but like Moon has Tides, and like that shit. Like I can't ever fault him for that. Like that. Like
Yeah.
Tides.
yeah,
I mean,
that is a sick track. Yeah.
That's a sick geological feature that lets life be present, and I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah, that is honestly so
So,
cool.
you know.
Yeah. Maybe
And-
maybe Tides too. Nah, they wouldn't do that. But like, yeah.
They wouldn't do Tides. I mean, it's a subscription service at this point, but yeah. But if they could do like, I mean, it seems like Earth is trying to, because there was like their collabo was Tides, because Earth was like, I got oceans, and they're
Yeah.
like, I've got gravity, and they're like, what if we did a collabo and it was called Tides?
Yeah.
But it looks like Earth right now is like really heating up and saying like, what if the Tides just like we switch that shit up? We like change the whole thing and they flowed completely different directions. And I don't know how Moon feels about that.
Yeah. This
Or
might
the
this
people
on this
living on Earth.
this could be like a bearing of the hatchet, or it could be like a straight giant diss track to Earth. Like who knows, really?
We just gotta wait till it comes out. We got 5
I
days.
have heard that Leonardo DiCaprio was not invited to the studio to listen to anything, and I think that is because of a lot of pro-Earth things that Leo has
very
been saying.
pro-Earth.
So yeah, Leo is super pro-Earth. So yeah, I don't know,
We'll
but
see.
I mean,
5 days.
well, yeah, and by
Me
that,
too.
like in the audience, yeah, you guys are gonna know more about it because you're living in the future and we're not. But yeah, so super exciting stuff. Cannot wait for Moon 2. Yeah, cannot wait for those tracks. A little nervous about the timing of it, but
Sure.
still super, super excited. But yeah, how are you, Sam?
I'm good. The thing I like about podcasts
Mm-hmm.
is something I've really come to enjoy is the mini series. Is the 8 episode investigative journalism
Ooh.
mini series. Not True Blood, Bad Blood. What was that podcast? The Theranos thing that we.
Oh my gosh.
No, Bad Blood
something.
is the book.
Bad
The
Blood
Dropout.
is the Taylor Swift. That's our Taylor Swift podcast. You're talking about our Taylor Swift podcast.
Yes, of course. The Dropout. The podcast.
Yes.
Great, love it. There's also one called I guess this is Recommendation Station.
Yeah. A lot of
That one's
podcasts
great.
you could be listening to.
That aren't ours. Yeah. But here's the thing, I'm never gonna put in that work to do what they do, so like it's
Mhm.
not like there's gonna be overlap.
Yeah. We're not. Yeah. This isn't Serial. We're not.
Yeah.
We're not putting in work for like 2 years. Speaking of which, another recommendation station. Nice White Parents.
Thank you.
One of,
Sophie's told me about that.
Yeah, Nice White Parents. It is by Serial. It's a Serial podcast. One of the customers that comes in the coffee shop I work at, he worked on that for a long time. So
Oh,
super major big stuff. Great. Two big thumbs up on Nice White Parents. Choo choo.
So because of my job is mainly visual, I listen to a ton of podcasts, and I found 2 miniseries that I actually listened to both of them today.
Oh, jeez.
A little overlap from yesterday, but mostly today. So there's one about. Have you heard of the group Nexus? That can't be the name of it.
Nexus. Yeah, that's a group, right?
That's
You're
the
thinking
that's the sex cult.
no. I just looked it up. You're thinking of the MTV show Next.
No, I'm thinking of NXVIM, but I can't remember what their Nexium. What the fuck is that? How do they pronounce it? Pronounced Nexium. Fuck. Okay, I had it right the first time. Whatever. I'm gonna cut it. Anyway, it's called. If you just like search Nexium on Spotify, you can find this podcast. But it's like a 10-part series. I think it's called like Escaping Nexium, and
Ooh.
it's so the pitch.
Oh my gosh. I thought you were referring to a band. I was like,
No,
what on God's green earth are you talking about,
I'm
brother?
talking about an MLM that is also a sex cult.
Ooh, fun.
It's
Now hold on. Is
fucking
this the sex?
wild.
Okay.
This is the one where they got branded. That like just got busted like 2 years ago.
Yeah, is this the one that has that one lady? The lady from
Smallville?
Yeah, Smallville?
Alex Mack, yeah, Alex.
Oh, all right.
Alexandria Mack. I don't know what her name is. Yeah, she features heavily. She's actually she features less than I would expect. They focus a lot on the like leader.
Whack. That's
well,
not what the
because-
people want.
Because okay, so basically what it revolves around, and the trial's still ongoing, I think. What it revolves around is this woman who the journalist is like a friend of hers from childhood. Like they like spent summers together. Their family spent summers together on in the Catskills or whatever. Like they went to the same summer camp. Like they just knew each other from childhood. And then he meets her. He sees her again, like in their 30s, like 15 years later, and he's like, "Hey, what are you up to?" And she's like, "Oh, well, I just left a cult." So, and he's like, "Oh shit, what?" And then she agrees to do a series of interviews, and then he like goes and interviews a bunch of other people to kind of fill out the story. And while they're recording the series, I believe it happens while they're making the series, but they aren't like putting episodes out yet, but they're still like interviewing people. The main guy gets arrested.
Oh, geez.
But so basically the premise is like there's this MLM which I love and think is funny. Like I'm a big fan of MLM stories. The Dream is also a really good miniseries about MLMs.
These are both ones you listen to?
No, I have listened to The Dream another time separately. So anyway, basically within the MLM, there's an even more secret MLM that is like all women, but they're not really sure if it's run by the leader guy or not. And anyway, they get branded and there's all this like slave stuff and
oh no.
It's a sex cult.
Oh no. We just got QAnon.
Okay, so that's the thing
is
he gets caught up on. I've also been listening to a QAnon podcast. That's
Oh
not
my gosh.
Today,
I just sorry, my friend just handed me a check. It's from George Soros.
Oh.
I didn't know. Oh my gosh.
Now wait, are you saying because George Soros gave you
George Soros gave me money without me knowing to promote QAnon? I don't know. He's playing like 4D chess, I guess. I don't know exactly what his deal is.
He's funding QAnon, which hates him because he's trying to trick you into a false sense of security. So similarly to that, the other podcast I am finishing, I mostly listen to today, it's by the same people. It's called Uncover. No, it's not. It's called Brainwashing. And it is all about MK Ultra. It's called Brainwashed.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Are you like? This seems to be like an ongoing theme. Like how people are dealing with the quarantine is kind of like it's all in different directions. But yours is like really specific.
It's really just MK Ultra, yeah.
And you did talk to me off mic moments ago about me. You really wanted me to do the segment Secret Book Club, and now I feel like it's irresponsible for me to do it.
No, you should definitely do it because I do want to hear more about Frank Dux. So what it was is I've run out of podcast. I'm spiraling a little bit. My usual podcast I've run out of. There aren't more episodes of Wizard and the Bruiser.
And so you, who does not have a VPN, your Google is like, fucking, you want some MK Ultra shit?
Well, no. So I was listening to TrueAnon, which is a Jeffrey Epstein podcast, which is pretty funny. And they are basically, I mean, it's old now. Like episode 4 is when Jeffrey dies, like not live, but like. They're doing a Jeffrey Epstein podcast when he gets arrested, and then episode 4, they're like, so Jeffrey Epstein died last night. Got to deal with that. So I started listening to that, and then they made some reference to the Nexus thing, and I'm like, what the fuck was that? I know there's something about branding, and it's an MLM sex cult, which I think those two things separate. I would be more interested in the MLM aspect, but like those two things separately, I don't know how much I'd want to listen to a podcast about, but there's something about MLMs that I find so interesting. Anyway,
so here's the thing. I've been searching all that, and my Google is just like, do you want to watch The Men Who Stare at Goats? And I'm like, not really.
Have I seen that?
I don't know. It's about MK Ultra, so might as well, guy.
Maybe I have seen it. Regardless, so I listened to the whole
working on your doctorate,
podcast, and then I like sort of found my way around some CBC podcast, which is the Canadian broadcasting company. It's like the British one, the BBC.
Yeah,
but it's Canada. Anyway, they make a bunch of podcasts, and they had a promo for one of theirs, and they're like mind control, CIA, and I was like, pause whatever I'm listening to, go listen to all of that. So those are my recommendations for your declining mental health.
Okay, that's pretty good.
I'm doing great. If anyone has any more nerd podcasts, I would love you to send those my way.
Yeah, yeah, you're just like one step away from just like doing that thing where people post a picture of the road that like they're driving, and it's just like driving. Give me podcasts for my declining mental health.
Yep, that's me. Hey, look at me. Because it's gonna be TrueAnon after this. Like I'm gonna finish this one and then just listen to Jeffrey Epstein stuff. So, Yeah, now that I say it out loud, it doesn't sound good. So I'm doing good, is what I'm saying. I'm doing
That
really
sounds great.
good.
Yeah. You have to project your fears out into the real world, or else they're going to consume you. So yeah,
well,
that's good. That's good.
You know, I finished The Boys, and now I can't find a podcast to listen to. So yeah, I wouldn't even call them conspiracy theories. It's just sort of like
just true stuff.
Yeah, like
true
real
shit. Like
that
real
happened.
real things that are really happening, and it's actually up to you to stop it.
Because it's not about like oh, who actually killed JFK? It's like, here are the court documents about how the CIA tried to invent mind control. And it's like, oh, okay, well, these are just real things that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Oops. How are you doing, Zach?
I'm doing great. I've not been spiraling in that way all that much. My bike got stolen, but that's kind of the life. That's kind of the life that I live normally.
Did it turn into a bunch of birds again?
I did not turn into a bunch of birds. Actually, I'm thinking that my bike just like rode off on its own. It was just like, like I really feel like you and me have
like a Knight Rider.
Yeah, like you and me have like not really been the same since that happened, and I really feel like there's just a lot of pain and a lot of hurt between us. So I think it's just best if like we spend some time apart. And luckily, there was another person who was walking by my house who probably had a very similar idea, who was like, "Oh, sick! I think that I can really read the energy that's happening right now. So I think it would be best if I just went ahead and took this bike." That
sucks.
Yeah, other than that, but then again, it was I've had 2 crashes on that bike, so I would say that the relationship was a bit frayed.
Yeah, it's kind of spent at this point.
Yeah, it was like after the second one, and like after the second crash, when I would hit the brakes on my bike, it would make a noise, and not so great. I was like, that's not great.
Not what you want. That's not what you want.
Yeah. So just been looking at other bikes, just seeing, because I want to get out there again, like I know it's tacky.
There's a lot of bikes.
I know it's tacky. I know it's like, ooh, didn't you just have a bike? That kind of sort of thing. But, I want to get out there again. And so I've been looking at some other bikes. For some reason, I don't know. I don't know what got into my brain, but like I find myself looking at mopeds over and over again. Like I'm going to buy a moped. Like that's where my life is going. My life is going in the moped direction, because it's like I have even like psyched myself out of having a midlife crisis this early. So I'm like, I'm not gonna get a motorcycle. Like, come on, like I'm gonna be an asshat if I have a motorcycle.
Get a motorcycle.
But it's like, now hold on, but a moped. Now hold on. Let's not be. What is it like? Let's not be too hasty about this motorcycle, but a moped, street legal. Okay.
All right. Well, motorcycles are street legal as well.
Motorcycles are street legal, yes. And mopeds, I don't think are interstate legal unless you have some Fast and Furious type modifications to the moped.
Correct.
In which case, I think I need to get a moped for the sole purpose of going back to the Tail of the Dragon with a moped. Ooh. And just getting one of those pictures of me on like a Vespa.
That would be cool.
Zipping down that. Yeah.
That would be very cool.
Yeah, bike getting stolen, trying to move on maybe to a moped. That's kind of my whole thing. Speaking of moving on and moving up, would you like to move on and move up to our next segment?
Sure. What is it?
I don't want to talk about mopeds anymore.
Oh, well, I was going to talk about mopeds.
Oh, you want to talk about mopeds? Well, then delete me even saying that.
Yeah, it's fine. Did I ever tell you? So in my neighborhood growing up, there was I lived in the suburbs, and there were 2 neighborhoods next to each other, but there was like some like a creek in between, like a really little creek. I mean, you could hop over it, but like a creek in between and some woods, like basically, neighborhoods where like they haven't been built up all the way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, you got these 2 neighborhoods and then like a football field worth of grass, but then it goes like a mile in either direction. So it's this big long strip of grass, but it's like a football field long. So it's really, so I had a friend who lived in the other neighborhood, and so I would cut through there all the time. And kids would always cut through there because, it's not a big place. Anyway, all that to say, not once, but twice.
Oh no.
When I was a kid, I walked, down, because you would like go near someone's backyard and there was like a little footpath because people went through there so much.
Mm.
There was a fully working moped
Okay.
just not stashed in the woods. It looked crashed in the woods, but like alone
Okay.
in the woods, a fully working moped. Like, again, I not like when I say behind some trees, I mean like it looks like it fell off of. So there was
a non-existent nearby cliff.
Well, not non-existent. It was like the road was up higher, so you would kind of go down a little hill to get into this. So where the road ended, there was a guardrail, and then it did just drop off like, I don't know, 6 feet.
Okay.
And so right past there's a moped, and it's kind of in some trees. So like not a place that any person would go. Certainly not like you couldn't flip a moped over this because it's a guardrail. It's a moped. You know what I mean? Like it's not like someone crashed because you're not gonna. So what it is stolen. I assume. I don't know. I actually have no idea. So I was under the television impression that this is the first time it happened. I was under the television. So I took it home because I'm me.
Okay. I really didn't. Oh my gosh. I don't know why I didn't see that as the next thing that was going to be happening.
Yeah, I was like, oh, free moped. Sick. So I pulled it out.
This is some Chucky ass, like there is the ghost of someone in this moped. Yeah.
Yeah, so I took it out of the woods, and because again, it's like right there, and I went through there all the time, so I like saw it immediately. I was like, "Oh, sick moped." I was probably like 12. I was still waiting for superpowers.
And you were like, "This is my steed. This is what's gonna take me on all my adventures."
Well, no,
this is my Appa.
This is my Batmobile. Yeah, no, because there was a one of the plates had like come off of it. And it was like just the
and you're
right.
Like even better.
No, I was like, this
I
would
don't
make
need
a great shield if I was to fight crime. Like if I'm ever gonna fight crime, this is a shield, because that was who I was.
That was and possibly might still be your mindset depending on the day.
Well, you know, a funny story related to that, but anyway, so I took the moped home and I just walked it back to my house and put it in the garage. And I told my parents, and they were like, "Oh, that's stolen. You can't drive it around because if someone sees you, they're going to think you stole it, and then you'll get in trouble." And I was like, that makes good sense. And it does. And so I was under the television rules.
And so I like to imagine that your parents were like, "So what you got to do is you got to wait till the heat dies down.
Yeah, you got to paint it, and nobody will know.
You gotta wait a little bit. We'll keep it in the shed for a while, and
I got a guy who can change the plate."
Yeah.
So I'm under the television rules that if you give it to the police, which I don't think this is true in any circumstance whatsoever, but it happened in television a lot. If you give it to the police and then you wait 30 days, nobody claims it, you get it. Surprised they did not give it. I mean, and maybe it's still waiting there for me, right? Maybe they're like, when's this Sam Cherry kid gonna come and pick up his moped? But
so you and your little kid ways is like you have like you put the moped at the police station, then you immediately put up a bunch of flyers that are like not missing, like not missing this moped here, totally fine.
probably got crushed in a compact.
Yeah, just whatever. If you see this moped and it's yours, just give it quick kiss goodbye. Say goodbye to the memory of it, because it is definitely not at the police station.
Well, I have no idea what the police did with it, because it's not like in an evidence locker somewhere.
Yeah.
It also would make sense that they wouldn't like immediately throw it away.
Mm-hmm.
So like, do they have like a time period where they're like, well, we're never giving it back to the person, because that really doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Yeah.
After 30 days you get it? What are you talking about?
I mean, you never went back to go see, though. Like, you never, like,
They never called.
Back.
I was waiting for them to call.
Well, you could. Why didn't you just wait 30 days and then just zip on over there and you're not your moped?
Yeah, at 12 years old, I'm going to go to the police station and my what? Yeah, I'm going to...
You went to the police station? Oh, I guess you have your parents.
No, I didn't. I just called them.
Oh.
Actually, I don't know how they got it. I don't remember.
Yeah, wait a minute. What?
My parents have a moped.
What?
I forgot to mention, 30 days later, my dad had a new moped. Very similar to
and
the
he
one.
loves it. He loves
He
that
never
thing.
lets me ride it, which is crazy.
Yeah,
He's
which
just, like
is
really possessive about his new moped.
yeah.
No, I
Wait,
have no
so
idea.
you called the police and they
I didn't do it.
and then the moped is gone.
Yeah, I think
They picks it up in one of those police trucks you're always seeing on the road.
No, they just put it in the back behind the
They
cage.
put it in the
really
back
scared.
of their cruiser.
No, he was being really belligerent. He was like, "Fuck you, pigs!" But he's a moped.
He just knocked the. That's not
smashing
funny.
his headlights against the cage part.
That's not funny. All right.
It's a little funny. I don't know. Maybe you were making a different joke than I was. But.
No, I was doing the exact same thing, but I was like, the climate. Anyway, so
Fair.
long story short, you don't have a moped. The
So
moped
then,
is gone.
Like, I'm like 15 and I'm doing the same shit, right? I'm walking through the grass, going playing in the woods or seeing friends or whatever. And I see a second different moped that is flipped over this barrier. And I swear to God, like, I have no idea.
How have I never heard this before?
Because what's great, okay, here's what I always think about. Yeah, they're stolen, I guess. And because a similar thing happened to my dad's truck where it got stolen. Basically, the climate was that, like, if you left your car unlocked,
and they just
they
just joyride this bitch over some guardrails and go, all right, cool. Up, see you guys in 2 years. All right.
No, my dad's truck, they drove it into a lake.
Tight.
So
yeah,
tight.
great
So, like,
stuff.
Basically, well, I mean, I don't know, because, like, whatever, just like shit kids. Like, that's just how kids are. So if you didn't lock your car, usually someone would open the door, and, like, I remember a couple of times, like, they would just, like, take all the stuff out of your car or just, like, throw your shit all over the neighborhood. So, like, one time I was, like, going to school, and I was like, is that my jacket? Like, down the street. And then we sort of, like, opened our eyes and realized, like, for some reason I had a bunch of clothes in the car. I was like 6. I was like a kid. I was going to school, but I was like really little. And all my clothes were like all over the street, and we like didn't notice at first. I was like, oh shit, there's all my stuff. And one time some people stole some like CDs out of my mom's car. So it's like petty shit. But like that was just the climate of like, okay, well, like, yeah, people will, if you don't lock your car, people are going to try to break into your car and take your fucking Anya CD or whatever.
Yeah, dude, they're gonna fucking sail away with it. Yeah.
But one time my dad forgot to lock his car and left the keys in there. And so somebody stole it was a truck. Somebody stole his truck and we couldn't find it for weeks. And yeah, they were joyriding it and then they drove it into Taylorsville Lake or a lake. I don't know if it was Taylorsville Lake. I feel like it was, but I think that might be pretty far away. It seems like a far way to drive a truck to joyride it. Anyway. So,
yeah, because at a certain point, it's just like you're just driving. Like if you drive a long way, it's just like we're just kind of driving this truck now.
Yeah, right, exactly. This stolen truck.
Increasing our visibility, like right. Really, really showing the world this new truck that we have.
Let me see how far Taylorsville Lake is. Let me just make sure. It might not have been. It might have been, Floyd's Fork. Spencer County. I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe. Who's to say? Get your dad on the pod.
I don't remember. So it was not like inconceivable to me, but it seems so. What I assume happened. But also, I've never seen anyone in my entire neighborhood or like adjacent neighborhoods driving a moped.
Mm-hmm.
But like twice, someone had a moped, got it stolen. And then I assume people were joyriding it and then wanted to like, okay, well, we can't actually keep this because we'll get caught. And so they just threw it in the woods, not to like stash it, but just to like get rid of the evidence.
Just to trash it.
Yeah, just be like, well, what are they going to do? Fucking fingerprints on this? Like, who cares? So if we just throw it back here and then get out of here, like no one will ever know. I assume. But it's wild that it happens.
This is like that childhood experience where people have where they're just like, it's like I was in the woods and I found a box of porno, but it's just like I went in the woods and on two separate occasions I found 2 working mopeds.
2 mopeds. Yeah, I don't think I took the second one home. I think I saw the second one and was like, I know this
And-
game.
Yeah, you're just like, this is a sting. There's just some police like behind the trees, like, get it, come on.
They're still trying to solve the cold case of the first moped.
Yeah. And they
They're,
were just
trying to
like,
set it up.
and they're just like, wait, isn't that fucking kid? Isn't that kid that came with the first moped?
The call's coming from inside the house.
Oh my gosh, it all makes sense.
It all makes sense. It's him.
He's returned to the scene of the crime where he always stashes his stolen mopeds.
Mopeds very visible, like immediately from the or like right off the road. As soon as you walk down this heavily trafficked trail,
Yeah,
you can see
that's
the perfect crime.
That son of a bitch. He's always
He's
always trying to get away.
It's the usual suspects montage, but it's just for mopeds.
Yeah.
Wait, what was his name? Mo Pedenstein? Moped! Oh my god!
Drops his coffee cup.
Yeah. So anyway, get a moped.
Yeah.
Crash
I mean, I'll
throw it
get a
in the
moped
woods by my house.
I'll crash that thing by your house. Yeah, that'll be. I'm gonna do a really long game where that's just like
Been you the whole time.
no, yeah, yes. I had invented a time machine, and I'm like, guys, I got something to do first.
That's way less complicated. That's way more complicated. I just was saying that like you already knew this story because you did it in the past. But sure,
yeah, time machine. No, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna buy a moped and just wait on it, and then like when you have kids, I'll just do that. I'll do the exact same thing.
Yeah,
and
maybe it's one of my
like,
dad's friends fucking with him from his childhood.
Yeah, and then it just continues on this forever.
Yeah.
Man, that's rich.
But yeah, I got a lot going on here. I actually just turned in my thesis, and I'm officially a script doctor. So
Whoa.
Is anyone a doctor?
So I did not make intro music. I'm not gonna make it this time either. I think I'm gonna start outsourcing it to like Fiverr or something because like I just have too much shit.
Don't we have script doctor music?
Yeah, but we don't have a Saving 1984 music.
Oh, yeah, dude. You gotta
make,
go to Fiverr for that. I don't know nothing about Fiverr other than
$5.
I wonder. I'm taking a break from the podcast for a second to go on Fiverr and see if like I can just type in like a podcast and see what happens.
You'll get a lot of podcast editors and a lot of podcast like intros, which I think are really weird.
Podcast.
They're like this week on Get Better, Zach and Sam talk about stolen mopeds. Like, that's what they do. Is they just like read
that
your
is
script in a radio voice.
Funny.
It's like if I wanted to listen to the radio, I turned on the podcast because I want a podcast, not a weird radio ad.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Holy shit.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of them.
Oh my gosh.
So many.
I will create your podcast intro and outro.
They suck. They're not good.
Thanks, Kate Martin, but I think we got that covered.
Yeah, I think it's just a weird. I mean, I assume if you're I've heard podcasts that are like that, but I assume it's if you're like doing an internal podcast to like promote your company or something. You know, one of those, like a very like corporate and like no shade, but like
we gotta do that. Like we got to in like right in the whole thing. Like hey.
For like one of our fake companies.
We're doing
for like Mud Gods International.
Mud Gods LLC.
Mud Gods LLC.
Mud Gods LLC. Like we are two professional script doctors and we send this directly to NBC.
And we are doctors. Like
we are doctors and script doctors. And we are going we send this to NBC and we are currently working on a series called Saving 1984. And then it's like
a comic book secretly.
Yeah, do the whole thing and just be like, we will pay you good. Here's $30. Good luck, Dick. Like,
good luck, Dick. No, I actually want to find someone, and I might just ask people I know who know people about like, hey, do you know someone that could actually do the thing that I want?
Oh, brother, But
it'd be really funny to get a bad one.
Just to
every week. We'll do it for the whole series. Instead of getting a good intro, we'll get 11 more.
Brother, that could get expensive.
It's 11.
Anyway, 11?
We could see. We'll see. That might be $55.
11 for the one that I'm seeing here. That would be $300.
Okay, fine. Maybe we don't do 11. But anyway, what times 11 is 300?
20. Well, this is 30, so it would be 330. But I wasn't going to say 330.
Would you like to do this bit, or should we just keep? I mean, we got a series, so like,
Yeah.
I feel like we need to do it again this week, but you know.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is so funny. Yeah, I'm gonna look at all these later. Okay, let's go.
Great. So let's do Script Doctor, and as I've mentioned before, we are in our Saving 1984 series, where the entire new original lineup of NBC's 1983-1984 block was canceled. Now, last week we dealt with Mr. Smith, the orangutan who becomes House of Cards. I feel like that one went over really well.
And like the way that this works is like everything we do previously becomes canon. So
yes, but they can't be a shared universe.
We're not doing a shared universe
or superheroes
right now.
In our secret comic book, we are, but in
our secret comic
Script
book,
Doctor, we're not.
Yeah. But I think it's like, to set kind of the tone for what is going to be like their slate. So we already have like a high class drama on the docket. So we don't need another one of those.
Prestige TV.
Yes.
Now I am sending you the second show in our Saving 1984 series, and it is called Jennifer Slept Here.
Oof, I need to dress that title up.
Yeah, well, yeah, we could work the title. We could change it. I think she probably still needs to be named Jennifer, but Jennifer Slept Here. Now, Jennifer Slept Here is a 1983-1984 sitcom that was cut tragically short after one season about a fun ghost that lives in these people's house. It's not spooky. It's just like goofy. It's kind of like My Mother, the Car, the Gun.
I'm getting a very I Dream of Jeannie sort of like.
It is totally an I Dream of Jeannie ripoff. Now, what brought my attention to this, other than the very silly premise, is that would you like to take a guess at how Sweet Jennifer did die? Don't read that overview. You got.
I'm not reading the overview. I'm just looking. So I will say this: one of the things about the show that I already do kind of like is the artwork for it is decorated out to be kind of like a dime novel, which is sort of fun.
Or like a Pulp Fiction thing?
Like a pulp dime novel, which I think is like this the way like the text is and the way that she is. So I'm gonna say.
Oh, you're talking about the second photo.
I'm just looking at the photo that's on the Wikipedia.
Okay, never mind.
And so I'm looking. So
how
Jennifer
did Jennifer die?
Slept here. It can't be something super dark, like she's trying to solve her own murder or something. No. I'm just gonna say she's trying to solve her own murder. So she was like killed or whatever.
She was murdered tragically. No, it was an unfortunate. So she actually died in 1963. It's contemporary for the show, so it's set in 1984, but or 1983. But
yeah, so 20 years prior.
20 years later, but 20 years prior, there was an unfortunate mistake she made. She was a once popular movie actress, who in 1963 made the unfortunate mistake of chasing an ice cream truck near her Los Angeles, California home. When the ice cream truck accidentally backed up, ran over, and killed her. 20 years later, the Elliott family moved from New York City into Jennifer's house in the series. Blah, 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 blah. So, in the series, the story conflicts with the assertion that her death occurred 6 years ago. So I guess the show's not set in 1984. It's set in 1969. I don't know. Okay, that seems like a weird detail.
So, yeah, that, and it doesn't seem like the characters here look like they're from 1969. So
we just have the one picture of the one guy, so I'm not sure why. But that is the basic premise. I think, as with My Mother, the Car, the Gun, at the end of the first season, Jennifer reveals herself to be real. I don't think because there are any high stakes, but because the boy Joey is tired of people not believing him that their house is haunted by a ghost. So he's like, come on, man, show everybody you're real. Because she can appear to people, but she doesn't always. Much like the mother who can talk, but doesn't always. So that is where we are.
So this
My
is
mother,
incredible.
the ghost of the car.
Like, and once this is going to be so difficult for me to not like just try to League of Extraordinary Gentlemen pair
I know.
this Jennifer and Mr. Smith together. That
That's
is
why
already
I said it. That's why I mentioned it.
that's already like impossible.
It seems so obvious. And we already
yeah.
did gritty reboot. I mean, I think we can do more than one gritty reboot, but I don't know if back to back that's what we need.
Yeah. One thing I do already appreciate about this show is that any time like you have it, like I guess I don't know much about ghosts. I don't really interact with them that much.
We used to not talk about them on our show, and now we
Yeah,
talk about
but
them
now
every
we're
week.
straight up. Here we go. We're straight. Jennifer slept here. This is a big milestone for the pod.
It's the spooky month. Well, we've talked about
it-
Casper
it-
for an
it is
entire
spooky month.
episode.
I think that if I were to interact with a ghost, a la Casper or a la Jennifer, I feel like it would be pretty tacky to ask how they died.
Sure. Especially if it's an embarrassing way, like getting run over by an
Yeah,
ice
but that's
cream
kind of like it seems like the showrunners were like, this is a comedy, so we're gonna do like something silly, and it's just like it's still pretty not good. Like that'd be that if that happened in real life, that would be tragic.
They have those big stop signs. Just well, never mind. It's a whole story. But they have those big stop signs and all that loud noise for ice cream trucks, so that doesn't happen.
Oh, it's because of Jennifer slept here. It is a
Maybe it is.
Maybe yeah.
This
This is one of those things where she is like, wow, like that's actually like I am still upset that I'm dead, but at the same time, like pretty excited that I'm expecting change. So Jennifer slept here. What a weird title.
It's incredibly weird. I think, okay, my impression, all the human characters, boring as shit. Don't care.
Yeah,
There's a
yeah.
fucking ghost, right? So
Yeah.
what if season 2, she's like, Joey, I've loved being here, sleeping here. You know me. That's my whole deal.
Yeah, you know
I
how
feel like I need to break out.
slept here. That's kind of my thing.
That's like my whole thing. But I feel like, it's been 20 years. I'm 40 now, and I really need to break out on my own. I need to. So she has a kind of New Girl-esque like set of roommates where she's like, I need to, and so she goes and meets other ghosts, and then they have like Ghost House.
I think once you do that,
Ghost
like,
House.
because like, I think that's great because like, let's look here. It's like, she is a once popular movie actress.
Yes.
So yeah, like her character's already pretty locked in.
And
like,
you can have like Frank Sinatra there and like all that shit.
I'm not necessarily she's gonna live with them, but I think she's gonna have like a sort of an airy kind of vapid she's gonna be like she'll be dropping pop culture references from like the 60s and being like, I haven't seen this many this many chickens since lunch at Tony Romo or something like that.
Right.
I don't know.
She's your manic pixie ghost girl.
Yeah. And like she is always looking back to her glory days. So that's kind of her thing in the house. And yeah, we don't necessarily need to have like everyone in the house be like that, but that's kind of her character.
Sure.
So
And you can have like an old Civil War ghost.
Yeah, she's an old Hollywood ghost. So like what are other ghosts we want to see? Like other ghosts that like would play well with her. I think an old Civil War ghost, I think that's great. I think
and he's like real like he's just like rah, rah, rah. He's a straight man, you know.
And he's like
and he's got a heart of gold, but
yeah, he's kind of Nick in this situation.
He's and also can we just say for the Union, like he fought for he's because I don't want to deal with. I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
I just don't want to. It's a fun show. It's a light show. I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah,
but he's a Union soldier. What if because they're ghosts, you know?
Mm-hmm.
What if they have a pet like dinosaur? Because
that'd be cute.
Ghosts are around forever, so they've got like a Dino, but it's a dinosaur. I mean, Dino is a dinosaur, but they've got Dino, but he's a ghost. So I think
and his name is Sweet Lord. You gotta edit this out.
No way. I'm leaving you out to dry on this one.
Yeah, sorry. And the dinosaur's name is his name is Dean Martin, named after her, but they call him Dino.
But
'Cause he's a
also
little-
Dean
'cause
Martin
he's a-
is there, and it's very confusing.
No, because I think it'd be because like this
Yeah.
Jennifer lady, she's like a fake person. Like I think if she makes like little offhanded references to them,
Sure.
it'd be like fun where she is like, I just met the loveliest young man. His name is Elvis Presley, you
Right,
know, or
yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
because she doesn't know who when she died, Elvis was kind of coming up.
So it's a joke about the recent death of Elvis.
Yeah.
That's funny.
yeah, dude.
That's funny. 1970, John Lennon can show up. That'll be cool.
Yeah. That'd be cool. So we have a Union soldier. We have an old Hollywood actress. She's like kind of full of herself. Vapid.
Who's our Winston? We got our Schmidt. We can have like not like one of the founding fathers, because that's played out, but like an old Victoria. See, the problem is they're in America and there's only 200 years of history there, so not a lot of jokes there. But what if it's like a colonial, but they're kind of Victorian era? And I know that doesn't track, but I don't care. I want I want like a Schmidt. I want Schmidt. I want a posh.
You just want, someone who's like
royalist.
really.
So he's
Someone who's like really posh and is
and
like
he doesn't
very
know America Won or something.
very image obsessed. Or like someone that would have like come across on the boat over to America.
Sure.
Like with expectations of royalty. Like someone that may have like been like a messenger, sent forth by like King Louis or someone to like kind of see how things were going.
Yeah, he's British.
And then
sure.
or like he wants to, or like King Henry, who like is like someone who was sent over to like, make sure things are going well.
Yes.
And died of whatever, dysentery, who cares?
Okay.
But
none of these people I care that die.
Yeah. But so like it's like a person who is like who came over and is like still very attached to like that Britain's way is the best way. And that America. So that's the old ghost. So we have a Hollywood ghost, we have a Union Soldier ghost, we have even farther back ghost. So we're gonna have like more of a modern ghost. Like, is as modern as we go in 1963?
Okay,
or
here's what I'm thinking. We get some Winston energy in there. What we need is a rascally little girl who loves to play pranks on people who are alive. We need a ghost, because there's gonna be humans in the show. Like mostly they're in Ghost House. And maybe it's a haunted house. Maybe it's actually a ghost house. The house is also a ghost.
Yeah, and I think it could be. So one thing I thought that would be fun is if they do in fact live in L.A. and like she's trying to get back in the scene, like she's trying to be an actress again, and like
but she's a ghost.
Yeah,
so
and
she
like
can put on a bunch of clothes,
and
like
all of them.
up.
All of them have like LA type jobs or whatever. Like they're all like doing kind of ghosty things, but in LA sort of way.
Okay.
And like her whole thing is she's trying to get back on the mainstream. And it's like funny because, she's a ghost and she's having to like really work hard to like, be a ghost and also an A-list celebrity. But it's not going so well. That's why she has to have other ghost roommates.
Sure. Oh, right. She doesn't have the money. Well, that's what I'm saying.
And what they're paying for this house is beyond me. Well, I think we'll just have to have like one funny human
ghost
character.
Landlord.
Yeah, like he's a human landlord who is just unbothered. Like as long as they pay the rent on time, he is like he does not care who lives in this.
Joey. Maybe we cut into the future and it's Joey and he owns a creepy old house and Jennifer still lives there.
Oh,
he doesn't care because he's like
that'd be a fun callback for the
fans.
That'd
be nice.
Yeah,
it's called Jennifer Still Sleeps Here.
Yeah.
So you know how ghosts wear like a bed sheet, right? So like obviously they can manipulate fabric and stuff. So she's going to these auditions. She's wearing really long gloves. She's wearing like big fur coats and like a big floppy hat. But she's still a ghost though. So there's nothing underneath. So she just tries to like cover up her body as much as possible. But so she's wearing like fancy clothes instead of a sheet to try to go to these auditions. And they're always just like, could you take off your hat? And she's like, I don't think so. I don't think I can.
Yeah,
it's part of my character.
She's like this. I feel like my character would wear a hat. I feel like my character would wear bandages across her entire face.
Yeah, I feel like my character would be a severe burn victim. Anyway, can I be in Titanic 2, Titanicing?
Yeah. Yes.
The movie, even though Titanic hasn't come out yet, I guess, but
Yeah. No, this one takes place. This one is, I think, yeah, this one could be like now-ish or like, in the 80s, whatever. Yeah, like maybe she's even auditioning for Titanic. Like that'd be a fun thing because like, the audience knows when movies are coming out.
You know what no one does?
What?
Let's cross over some genres. All right, let's really. Now, this is more gritty reboot. This is more gritty reboot. So this is I like Jennifer Still Sleeps Here. I think that one's good. What about Jennifer 2048? What if she's still a fucking ghost?
I mean,
but she lives in the future world. I think the thing is,
yeah, she's gonna be a ghost as long as she is like unsatisfied. Like, I think
it's like an unfinished business thing.
Yeah. And like that could actually lend to a really nice conclusion where like, maybe the other side was the friends you made along the way.
Well, and if we want to get rid of characters, if the British guy is being fucking annoying, we're like, look, he's not testing well. We're not canceling the show twice. So he's got to go. Yeah. And then somebody finally accepts. Because there could be like a running joke where they're like, Smithers or whatever the fuck his name is, America won the war, and he's like, for now, and everyone laughs.
Yeah.
But then eventually they're like, okay, everyone hates the British character.
Yeah, because
and then they convince him the war's over, and he's like, you're right, and then he goes away, and then we can recast him.
All right, I got it. I got like a good little. He like there's a little. This is like a little joke where he says something like, he's like, England will rise again. Then it cuts to the Union soldier and he's like, now don't you start.
Where have I heard that before?
Yeah, something like that. And then the audience is
they've
like,
got a fun
the audience laughs, but at the same time they're kind of like it's one of those like ooh.
And then the little girl like throws ghost firecrackers at both of them, and they're like, whoa, and Jennifer's like, oh, you.
Yeah.
And like that's their whole dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
Is she wants to be a spooky ghost, and Jennifer's like, you rascal, I'm trying to be an actress.
Yeah,
I don't know what the union's trying to get back to his dear Beatrice or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. There could be a lot of like dark humor. There's lots of like good stuff because it's like at the end of time it's ghosts, and then like
like you cut to Joey and he's like doing the dishes and he's like, for people that don't eat, you guys make a lot of dishes, but like it doesn't make sense, but like who cares? Like it's just a fun sitcom. Like this is one of our fun ideas. It's like fun.
Yeah.
We're just having fun. It's not a car that's a gun. It's not House of Cards. It's just fun. We're just having fun in the ghost house.
It's because we do there is room for like just kind of a fun little sitcom, and like the hook is that they're ghosts, and like there's lots of areas to explore with that, and it's fun. It's just fine and it's fun. Yeah, dude, I love it. I love this idea. I would totally watch this. Like, yeah, man, this is great. And like the little girl could be like like
a Punky Brewster is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, or like like a Huckleberry Finn sort of whatever. I don't know. Like
she's a rascal.
Yeah, she's she's a rascal. Yeah, that's good.
And also we can stencil in whatever ghost powers we want Jennifer to have for our secret comic book.
Yeah. She'll definitely have some secret powers. Yeah, don't you worry about that. But
they have to go back in time and actually save 1984. But that's like a little tongue-in-cheek joke. That's that's their mission. Is they've got to go back in time and save 1984. But it's like a little like wink to the audience because we all know that these are shows that got canceled in 1984.
Yeah.
We'll talk.
It's good.
TM.
Yeah, it's good. It's good they were writing this like now, like over the course of several weeks, we're writing this now. And
over
it's good
12 weeks, we're gonna write a comic book.
Yeah, because and we're getting it's like character by character. It's good that you haven't revealed all the characters to me yet, so that we can really like let this story flesh out naturally.
Well, it's funny because as we go on, you're gonna see like, man, this is. The obvious bait is League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. It's like, I know, I read it, I know. That's how I got here too.
Man, we're going to have to really, by the end of this, you guys are going to hear the podcast where we're going to be on phone calls with NBC.
We're actually literally.
Like, hey guys, like we would love the rights to these things.
Well, no, because that's the thing is we can't show them this show. We'll just be like, hey, we've got $80. Can we buy these shitty shows you canceled? They're like, sure, whatever. We don't care.
Yeah, and it says like, I don't know. The Mr. Smith, one of the Mr. Smith tile puzzles just sold out, so it seems like these shows are starting to get a lot of steam.
They're like, no. I'm sure it was just I still haven't gotten that, by the way. I mean, it's only
Oh yeah, yeah. You'll get this when we're actually coming out with the comic book, and then we're gonna be in whatever the Hall D or whatever at Comic-Con. They're gonna hold it up, and everyone's gonna lose their minds.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Well, anyway, that's our show. Thank you guys so much for coming to Get Better. You can find us on Instagram at get_better_podcast. That's Get Better Podcast with underscores in between each one. You can also reach us at meetthefockers2, fockedup@gmail.com. If you do reach us at meetthefockers2, fockedup@gmail.com, please do not look ahead and see what the other 1984 shows are. I have not looked ahead. I'm sure Sam is plotting something, but just let it naturally happen. And if you have any more ideas for Mr. Smith or Jennifer Slept Here, I think the name of the show is. Yeah, Jennifer Slept Here. Then yeah, send those our way, and we'll give you a special thanks in our not comic book. But yeah, that's all I have. So see you guys next week.
All right.
All right.
See you bye forever.
See you bye forever.